pain in the sinuses and allergies. I do apologize. I debated on doing a video today after 4 hours of sleep. I've only had 4 hours sleep because of the head pressure I have. Could be related to just pollen, dust, dander. Could be related to a virus or bacteria that I may have come across somebody sick, and I might be reaping the benefits of that. But we'll see what we end up with views. We have a few views. We don't have a whole lot of people coming on, but we'll see what we end up today. We've had pretty good luck in the past, but a lot of people did get banned because of stupid stuff. But I'm not saying anything against the banning. I think it's been a disaster with the bad commenters that come on here. So we have to kind of understand that. The mods have taken care of the issue for the most part. But I can only expect so much out of, you mods that have done the best job you could do, trying to curtail or trying to stop this insanity of horrible comments. I appreciate it greatly. Thank you. I mean, it's not like we're making any money at this, so it is what it is. We reached the 4,000 hours or 3,000 hours, and I raised a bunch of videos, and then it brought us down to 1,300 hours, 240,000 views in 2025, which isn't big as far as you'd say, a growing channel, but we're here to talk about things that affect everybody: economy, illegal immigration, housing, World War III, the everything bubble, the largest theft in human history that happened during the COVID pandemic, which is, indicative of the capital investors, these equity, investment firms. What they would do would steal from us through the Federal Reserve, make us pay for it. Maverick, I don't really love politics. I think that the information that people will receive will make things better in their lives. I think once they understand what the Federal Reserve really is, it's not American, it's banksters. They set up 1913 to strangulate the entire population of planet Earth. So people have got to realize this, especially with people in America, especially giving up. Oh, there you go, Maverick. Watch that. Watch Trump live. The HUD home thing. I just been watching this with Section 8 housing, and it's a really, really good thing because illegal immigrants that came here illegally, they're saying roughly 10 million in 2 years or whatever was encountered, or they suspect that many. There will be that many, at least cars that'll be available, used cars more than likely, depending on if they have a car. There'll be housing, apartments, Section 8 that'll be available to Americans. I'm watching YouTubers that post TikTok videos of people living in their cars, people living, out on the streets. Montana's a really big wake-up call when you see these guys that have gone up there and done their news stories on the homelessness in Montana, the working public. Hopefully God does bless us. I really do. But I think as far as the world, it's time for the world to be blessed. I think that we all should wake up from the drugs we've been. West Studi. Oh yeah, we just lost Graham Greene. We just lost Graham Greene, famous for Dance with Wolves. Graham Greene played Kicking Bear. He just passed away today. It's a sad day for indigenous populations of North America. Graham Greene was a great actor. I should have put that in the header because just like Russell Means when he passed, Dennis Banks passed. We had John Trudell, Trudell, not Trudeau. I forget Justin Trudeau screwed that up. What's the ultimate truth, brother? The ultimate truth is Christ. Christ is the way, the light. God is great. God is beautiful. God gives us all this life here on earth. Christ is the shepherd that will lead us to our salvation. That's the ultimate truth. We gotta wake up, everybody. BRICS is kicking our butts. China, Xi Jinping, and Vladimir Putin met. They discussed the end of American dominance across the world. You're seeing the death throes of that. In Britain, you're seeing it in throughout Europe. There is some protests. Parts of Asia are having massive protests. And Americans are trying to get them swing the symphony of destruction about illegal immigration, but they don't realize everybody that came here illegally, they all have the apartments, they have the jobs. Americans should be doing the jobs, and it's really a racist thing. It's a, the rich, no offense, Karens of America defending illegal immigration, but yet the working class are struggling every day just to find a place to live. I know family members, friends personally that are just underwater. Homelessness is right there. If it wasn't for me with my children too, at this point, they would be homeless too. This is not the America that we fought so hard to preserve, supposedly during Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya. And our veterans are treated like garbage. Literally got a raise, but realistically, with the Five Finger Death Punch song, about every 2.5 minutes, a service, a veteran was committing suicide. You can't quote me on that because that's what Five Finger Death Punch did that, but he did call God she during that video, and I was pretty. I mean, you can call him that, but good luck with answering for that one. And there's no difference between men and women, you guys. We're all together. It's just anatomy. We're all God's children. Everyone running through job and power and everything. Yeah, everyone is running through job and power and everything, running away from the truth. Can you explain afterlife as in the Bible? Well, I can explain afterlife when I died. I had my own personal experience with this, October 7, 2006, and I did not make it to heaven. So it was beautiful. You'll give all this up in a minute. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Just got to get this right here. UK and Australia having huge protests. Exactly. And this is just a symptom of the disease. They want you to fight back. My personal opinion, not being Alex Jones, I have no affiliation with, he was born, me and him are the same age. But we kind of understand what's happening here. The elites, the investment capital groups, the banksters are intentionally, my personal opinion, crashing the Western world. And I think it's because of just like Maui fires, just like the LA fires. It's to gain more asset because they can't squeeze the populations. They can't squeeze the other countries hard enough. BRICS is coming about. And I think they're just running out of options. I think that evicting the illegal aliens now, get a bunch of them out, then they still have their working class they brought in for cheap labor. It's not going to really fix the problem, but it will open up millions and millions of apartments, vehicles that won't be bought up by immigrants, illegal immigrants. And then, Biden legalized 3.5 million immigrants, and he also brought in extended visas. So we're still fighting the union busters. Those that come here, I want you to realize this. Don't get any of this on you, okay? If you do understand what the American ability to strive and try to have a better life, take that back to your countries. But realistically, unless you're fleeing absolute persecution, death by destruction, by gangs or drugs or whatever, go back home when this is over. Go back and fix the places where your ancestors are born. Yeah, that's what I say about all this. Yeah, you can't fly. I heard about that. I've seen a picture of a lady flying the UK, what do they call that? Yeah, whatever, the British flag, you'll be arrested for it. And that's just a symptom of the disease. The financial markets, they crashed, the mass migration they brought in because the Europeans, you guys, you're not working hard enough for them. You're not giving them enough, and you're not producing enough people. You're becoming indigenous British in your own island, and you're calling yourselves the indigenous populations now. Now you're being overran by mass migration. So you're going to have a minority that's British, minority that's German. Now I heard they're even repatriating Germans. You can get your citizenship back if you're ethnically German. And I think Ireland's the same way. But I'd say it's a call to arms for all people to understand, especially you guys in India, Pakistan. You know what, Pakistanis? They are using you. Indians are using you. They're using you for cheap labor. You're just breeding farms for them. And I'm just saying this nicely, YouTube. I'm just saying this nicely. Whenever you raise a mass population in impoverished areas like Mumbai and all these Hindustan, all the entire Hindustan itself, basically, Asia, America, South Central America, Canada, everywhere else, All they're doing is raising mass poverty populations so they can import cheap labor. That's it. When they say we need these people to build these people built our country. Well, you fat, lazy, no good succubuses can't get out and build a house because you're too lazy. These people couldn't in New York and all that are like, oh, you're taking away these good, hardworking, immigrants. Yeah, people from El Salvador, but they're building our houses, they're cleaning our toilets, they're picking our fruits. I mean, what do we do if these people won't come pick our fruits? I mean, Americans won't do the job, but Americans won't eat the fruits. But we got to bring in immigrants that'll keep the farms going. But no, realistically, you succubuses need to be out of your New York penthouses, out there picking fruits or picking vegetables. That would be the ultimate. So if you stop immigration for the rich, there will be a banker up on top of a roof nailing, tiles, roof tiles, going, why did we do this to these people all the time? Oh, because they would do the work. Well, yeah, if I paid you $1 million to come here for a year in your home country and you just funnel the money back, you'd be up there, you'd have a lawyer up there building roofs. But the problem is it's the pay. It's about the investments. It's about getting the bank loans. It's the $500,000 high interest rate loan for a mortgage, and then bringing these poor people out of countries that value a currency. Oh, it's on the global market. Yeah, that's a Zimbabwean. It's not worth nothing. You can't buy. Everybody has resources, but the environmentalists won't let you go dig. They won't let you cut. They won't let you burn. They want the lions to eat you alive. I love the ones in India where the tigers are just prowling around eating people outside the village, and all the liberal people and we got to save the tigers. It's like, you know what, if you had a freaking 1,000-pound animal ripping your face off trying to eat your kids, we lost how many people lose in the village today? So only 6 people died in the village from those tigers. Yeah, only 6, but we can't expand anything because gotta protect those tigers. See, now you're putting the 2 and 2 together. Venezuela's full of gold, everybody. Isn't it amazing? I got warships off the coast of Venezuela. Wake up. We don't need to be immigrating. You don't need to be moving across the world. We just got to fix the financial system. Who says it's economics? Well, BRICS about ready to stomp a mud hole in your economics, and now the Bitcoin, the guy that made it up that didn't exist and nobody knows who the hell he is, probably CIA, FBI, is now going to give the rich man the Bitcoin like what was intended. No, it was decentralized. It's a wrap. Nobody deserves to be in poverty. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a mess getting judged. I got sent back here. Yes, when you die, you will go to paradise, not yet to heaven. I hit the roof. There's a roof up there. There's a roof. I just say it. I've been there. I was dead, and it was actually alive. But this is weird world. When you're dead here in the flesh, you're alive there in the sky. Now it's just a matter if you get all the way up. It's kind of a good time, but let's catch it. Yeah, Lord Yeshua is fantastically beautiful, and he rocks. Well, he doesn't really rock. Christ is against all of this madness. He always has been. That's why the Pharisees and the Sadducees and all those other morons, the sluggish old weirdo guys, that said, you're not even 50 yet, Jesus of Nazareth. How are you supposed to be this Messiah? Yes. Christ's like, bro, dude, you suck. You guys all suck. How's that sound? Don't be like these guys. Yeah, but your mother's Mary, and we know Joseph. And Joseph was a stepdad. And, that he said, hey, Mary, guess you guys, this my brother's my sister's my mother. He said it. Yeah. No, but I got this. It's on the right side. It's really painful all the time. You see that? Just say this is where the stab thing went in there. On the right side. Gotta love it. Yeah. If everybody says, oh yeah, well that's not That's not, well, here's the spear that stabbed him. Spear that stabbed him. See, look. Look at that spearhead birthmark. You can barely see it with this stupid thing. Watch this. Check this out. Look at the white leg. Let me show you. Oh my gosh. I'm not claiming to be Christ, by the way. I just want to show you this. What reminds me. This is what I know, how I know Christ is real. Because that's a spearhead birthmark too. It's a total spearhead. Yeah, to remember the stabbing in the side. You got to remember Christ, everybody. You got to remember him. You got to know who he is. He's alive. He's alive. He's gorgeous. He's beautiful. He cares. He wants you to care about each other. He wants you to stop all the madness. He wants you to finally come once and for all and say, you know what, guys, this isn't working. The system is, yeah, I'm not Jesus. I have the same scars as the crown, all this stuff of thorns. I have the messed up shoulder. I have a naturally fused neck where the neck was hurt. But Christ didn't break a bone, and I did. Okay? Just to prove the fact, Christ broke a bone, or didn't break a bone. He was a sacrificial lamb. That's why he said, give Caesar what's Caesar's. We had a sword to him. He said, I got to give Caesar and God's what's God's, because that clown that had the sword to him, he had to say that. And the Christians, conservatives, liberals, whatever, ran with it, you know. Do you, Israel, Gaza? No, murder's murder. I died October 7th, 2006, by the way, and that was the invasion into Israel was October 7th, 2023. Wow. I lost that lid. We'll just deal with it later. Anyway, so BRICS is going to kick the trash out of the American dollar, fiat currency. And the reason why it would do that is because gold. Yeah. Gold. The whole world longs for it. Truth of the matter is, Bitcoin's a lie. Rich man's going to take it. They're now going to take away the decentralized services. It wasn't decentralized. Everybody's a big Ponzi scheme. Now, if we could have got in on it 2010, we should have done that. But we did not. I did not do that. I have gold. I'm not. Remember Streets of Gold, Land of Milk and Honey? I was a milkman for 21 years. I know the land of milk and honey, but my honeybee died, and it was sad. Land of Milk and Honey. And I have the Streets of Gold. So that's what we're shooting for here. And you got to kind of think about this whole system, whether you're wherever you are. The rich men use the poor people to build their empires. They don't mow their own lawns. They don't do their own plumbing. They're not fixing their own cars. And they're running around in their protected neighborhoods. Okay? They got gates and fences around their place. But as far as the people in Chicago and California, these people can't live free when there's gangs. They can't live free when there's drug addicts on the streets. They can't live free when you leave your car doors open and your change thing open, so they'll just know there's no way they don't steal. But realistically, nobody in this world should ever get to that point. Nobody should go without. You imagine a world where the fiat currencies are gone. No more investment capitals, no more venture capitals, no more richies running around sucking the life out, buying hospitals and buying the ground out of the hospitals, then leasing it back to the hospital, and then bankrupting the hospital. No more of that. No more of BlackRock or the other companies coming in, buying up all the apartments and looking at your neighborhood going, yeah, we can extract wealth here and we can bring immigrants in to build the houses, work them 12, 14 hours a day. They don't care. They're making a ton of money for work in America and work them on Labor Day. The funniest thing is my town's so proud of all the developments and they got immigrants working on Labor Day. How dare they? You know, but I come from an industry where I was food service and milkman, delivery guy for 21 years, and I worked every holiday to keep the people fed. Milk, eggs, cheese, butter, pizzas, ice cream, you know, food stuff. But that's what the rich men do. They don't care what they do to everybody, but they extract wealth from people. That's what their goal is. Extract maximum profits out of the people. Make wars, extract profits out of weapons and wars. They go to the banking systems and they tell them, okay, well, we're going to invest in this. How much are you going to give us loans? How many times is the Federal Reserve going to back us? Are we going to be saved if something happens? And the banksters are like, I'm already in on it. What are you guys talking to me for? Find out who the federal bank, who the chair people are. There's a fun endeavor into what is going on since 1913, the Monsters from Jekyll Island. Glenn Beck, check out his Monsters from Jekyll Island. You'll learn a thing or two. Golden oil, yes. You died and still do live stream. Yeah, no, I died in 2006. October 7th, 2006. I actually am a hantavirus survivor too. I have medical evidence on the hantavirus 2006. I'm one of the documented cases through the IC app. But the death that I had was up Cedar Canyon. I died of hypothermic shock due to a broken ankle. I come out of the back of a Blazer, 7mm Magnum and my binoculars. My vehicle broke down. I was going through a really bad time in life. Hated the world. Just wanted God to burn it. I'm like, I'm done with this. Done with the world. And I come out and I come down. I broke my ankle. I laid down in the snow. Smoked a cigarette. Get out of here, Bobo. Get out of here. Smoked a cigarette. Went into hypothermic shock. Got put in a vehicle. There was a nurse there. It was my girlfriend's sister. She was an EMT from Parowan, Utah. I died. Okay? Everything went. I died, shot up in the sky, hit a roof. Said, isn't this magical? Oh, yeah, can't go up, can't go down. Watch the truck way down there with the tail lights down the canyon driving my body down going. My kids. I'm mom, dad. What about my children? God said it's okay. They're going to be okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. No. Not a booming voice. It is okay. You died and I... No, he's like, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I got you. Don't worry about it. So my kids. I was looking at this vein, I was up there in the sky. I was looking at my hands, and I'm like, that, and I was dead. No pulse, dead. 10 minutes or so. Deader than dirt. And I was like, that vein is a pain in the butt. I was saying that in the sky. Looking at my hands. Going like this. Going, how much pressure was that vein when I was alive and I was in that other? How much pressure that one vein put on my body? Oh man, I can't believe Bobo's not out of here. Yeah, he's gonna start it again. Anyway, yeah, I'm not reading anymore. I had ×2 brain surgery and died many times when having seizures. Hopefully you got to leave here. But I was full of anger and hate. I was about the war. I was all about the war. It's all I ever wanted. I was like, you know what? Burn them, burn them, burn them. It was all betrayal, lies, betrayal, lies, betrayal, lies. Bobo wasn't even born. He was in his dad's sack, swimming around. Luckily, he made it where he went and got to be here. I guess you need a yin to the yang, right? Bobo the clown. Bobo the clown. Everybody, let's have a hand for Bobo the clown. Yeah, Bobo. This guy, look at it. You're gonna cry, says Bobo. This is your world, Bobo. This is stupid on steroids, Bobo. You're probably an AI bot on top of that. Which means you're just basically going to be running with Satan anyway, so good luck with your future. Anyway, what? Social Security. Okay, so let's do the BlackRock and State Street went through that. So you got to understand the American system, what it is. It's BlackRock, it's State Street, okay? It's Vanguard, it's Apollo, it's Athena, Apollo. Insanity going on at a level never seen before. So you got to understand how much these Texas, just like the DAPL protest with what was their name? The company with the pipes. Oh, come on, they're now our Utah's gas company. By the way, I can't seem to get these to go. Dominion, no, not Dominion. Yeah, the guys. Let's go back to this. Let me go back if I go to chat again. I'm trying to get the chats to go. It says top chats, and if I get this to work. Yeah, so I'm saying this is the files. Look, Look, there's the files. Nothing. Nothing. That's what the files are, Maverick. Don't release the Epstein files. That's just a Nathan. It's a scam. Yeah. Yeah, this guy don't ever come back. I don't want you ever back in. Let's get rid of some of the bad people here. Mick Jagger isn't God, Peter, and your name says you're a dick. Get out of here. That's just a horrible thing to say. I'll give you 24 hours timeout for saying that. Don't blasphemous. Don't be blasphemous to me. Don't even try to tell me God is Mick Jagger. Okay? If that's what you want, I already died. Good luck with your future. Because it's not going to be worth anything. God is not Mick Jagger. Okay? Never going to be. Never was. Those are humans. Those are humans. And humans die. God doesn't die. Your ancestral line believed in God. What are you doing? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, well, I can ban any of them. I really, honestly, Maverick, I don't care who I ban. I have no couth for. You look at how many YouTube has, trolls they have, and Twitter has. It's up to 50% are bots and trolls. So you got to figure 1 out of every 2 comments here are trolls or bots. I get to see a Mike. I banned 2. They deserved it. One guy called Mick Jagger God. I just silenced him for 24 hours. But the other guy's like, this is if Jesus discovered pot, and it's like, I don't smoke pot. I don't do any of their stuff. So the guys come on like that. We don't mind if we ban them. We're going to talk about Vanguard because honestly, Mike, there's 50%, like you're saying, of these comments. I mean, there's a lot of great people out there. A lot of people need to hear the truth. They need to understand what's happening, fix their lives, become better at what they're doing, and understand this is all a big joke. It's just it's a scam. That they're running on all of us with all this protests and LGBT 55, 65, 75 downset set hike. Oh, don't bring the National Guard troops in. We got 6 veterans standing there going, if we bring troops in, we could be all mad and stuff, because then they got the latest, got the ears that go straight back, that's on there. You can see on the news about where she's like in Chicago or wherever, saying, oh yeah, if Trump brings the troops in, her ears are like level. I was like, what do you do? Does your hat set on your ears all night long, all day long, until her ears are level? I'm telling you. You see the lady talking about protesting against Trump bringing the National Guard in on the news today with all 5 or 6 of her idiocracy friends trying to start a movement. You really got to pay attention to those ears. Lizard people. Just saying. Yep. Have I ever met my straw man? Oh no, they've had an absolute doppelganger. I have a confirmed 100%, even by an ex-girlfriend. Yeah, I haven't. There's a complete doppelganger of me. There's a carbon copy, if not 2 carbon copies. One came into Cedar. Remember, I was a milkman for milk and honey, land of milk and honey, and he went into my stops, and one of my ex-girlfriends was sitting there at the counter. We were in a very tumultuous time with me seeing somebody that she knew and eventually married her, and I broke up with her, and this guy, that wasn't me, walked in there, bought a cup of coffee, didn't say a word to her. She got pissed. She's like, Rick. And he's like, paid for his coffee. She was pissed. Oh, I came in, I was delivering it out of town. I came in and she's like, why didn't you say anything to me? I was like, hello? What do you want me to say to you? I wasn't there. She's like, yeah. And then so I went to the other side of Cedar to my next stop, and they said, you came in here, bought a cup of coffee the same day, by the way. Walked over, paid for it on my delivery day, by the way. Did not say a word to those people either, and they knew me very well. And then a buddy of mine was in Vegas, ran up to him. Guy stand there, me in camouflage, had a whole entourage of guys, and he said, Rick, and his name's Ricky, and I'm Ricky too. Sorry, I haven't eaten nothing all day. Yelled at him. Said, Ricky, Rick. He calls me Rick. And I looked at him, And these big guys come up and protected me from him. And he said, I just walked away. And he told me, he says, Rick, I seen you in Vegas. Why didn't you say hi to me? And who are those people? I said, I wasn't anywhere near Vegas, Rick. I don't go to Vegas. I don't have any way to go to. I don't go to Vegas. Why? I mean, so yeah. Oh, is that what you meant? What do you mean? Oh no, I do not. No, I don't have a straw man. No, and if I would have had a straw man before this time that I came to Christ, I probably would have put the fear of God in him, found him one way or the other. But we're not going to talk about that because if they come after me like that, there's things that happen to those that do bad things, and it's been a reoccurring issue with those that have done things to me that have disappeared, just died. And the funny thing is they kill over. It's not funny. It's just actually sad. But karma is a bitch. So when people do stuff like that to you, it's the Lord's vengeance, not yours. I'm telling you, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost, don't mess with him. Don't be bringing him up, and try not to if you ever do. I have witnesses of people and it's like, it's not me. It's just like the revenge. I mean, they could be in India or wherever, Africa, and they will end up dead. They will die like a death, 1,000 deaths. They will die. It's a matrix, everybody. You're in it. It's a game board. No, oh, well, that's as soon as we sign, we get our social security numbers and all that. We're already in a fictitious lie anyways, kind of like the Dawes rules. Big lie, big fantasy, big way to just, destroy a people. That's what the social security number is. They saddle people with debt as soon as you get a social security number. It's all a lie anyway, American Incorporated. The energy put out into the universe, you shall manifest. Exactly. Whatever you do, you get back. It's a equal or greater reaction. Darwin's theory, I just have to bring that up. I know Darwin doesn't always work out, but his theory of equal or greater reaction to be expected, everything you do. So if you go out there and you do these harmful things to other people, your soul can either be damaged itself, where it's irreparable for the most part, or you will be met by three spirits, three ghosts, I guess you'd say, the past, Christmas, past, present, and future. I walk the fine line, and hopefully that if they're doing that to you too, Mike, I haven't had anything like that happen. What's your opinion about Rothschilds? They ran the banking system. They started this in 1913, I believe, and that's where this all started. They are the cult that rule the world. It's a cult of personality for the rest of us. We're fighting about our truths, our lies, our deception about who we are and what we are about, and trying to make ourselves into something. And by the time we figure this out, we figure out that the banksters, the Rothschilds, the Vanguards, the State Streets, the Raytheons, the Lockheed Martins, and all the Russian and German and all the other arms dealers, mass migration people, the real estate investors, the investment groups that are property management groups and equity funds, that are all a cabal of absolute tyrannical monsters. That's what this is. Yep. How long since I had a sickness in the family. I cut my hair. So it's been about 6 years, I think, but I haven't, that was out of sickness. It wasn't for me. You're funny. End of America dominance. Laugh my ass off. You definitely don't know military power. It doesn't matter if you don't have funding to fight your military. It doesn't give a shit what your opinion is. 3/4 of the population of planet Earth is against us now. There's only so long the white, old, smelly people can keep continuing this insanity while you new people take over and try to continue the dominance of the world by a barrel of a gun. You don't understand the military power of America. Every ancestor I have, including my children, are soldiers. You don't understand what PTSD is. Maybe you do, and you're just still standing tall. Every man had given his only begotten son for democracy. Really? A 51% rule, the other 49. We lost more vets than we ever in suicide than we ever did in war in the past 2 decades. There was no babies thrown on incubators. There was no freaking weapons of mass destruction. Oh, there was depleted uranium. I know them guys personally. You don't understand America's power. I know America has the ability to kill the shit out of its people, the hard workers, and I know America's ability to give the Rothschild bankster bastards called the Federal Reserve anything they want. And I know America has a bunch of prostitutes called representatives. They're not good on their back. But by golly, big pharma, Purdue Pharma comes in. Oxycontin is the lab heroin, and it's safe and effective. Deaths of millions, tens of millions, hundreds of million people maybe died from that one. You don't understand the power of the American military. The sun can blow your ass off the planet. How's that sound? God is the power. You're not. And the dead old men took the young men to their deaths, if not physically, spiritually, my dad included. America's power is right there. It's going to kick some ass. Well, tell my dad about Vietnam, how great it was. We got to show them Vietnamese democracy. Did we? Is that what it was? I can buy a frickin' cheeseburger in North Vietnam now. What does that matter? Oh, God, Opium Triangle. Oh, crap. Afghanistan. My son. My grandpa. Philippines. Wounded, too. Democracy. We saved them from the Japanese. You know, the Japanese killed the hell out of a lot of people, and it wasn't on the other side. It was their own. My grandpa used to pull them out of their holes while they were left behind in all them islands, and the big native guy would go, yeah, America, kill them all. You know what my grandpa said, Sergeant U.S. Army? You know what he said? Nothing. You want to know why? Because he came home to America that didn't give a shit about him. Oh, American vets. These are the vets that I knew. Struggling to pay for prescriptions. I was abandoned at times, and my grandpa, I overheard him in the kitchen one morning, 5 o'clock. Sergeant U.S. Army said, I don't think we can afford to keep Ricky anymore. That's what this government did. My dad's pension being cut. 100% disabled vet, Vietnam. Nothing like the meeting of a child and a bullet. You never come back from that. Cutting his benefits on a regular basis. Oh, you can work. Is that when my dad was chasing down the guy in a van in reverse because he thought he was spying on him? Or was that when the TV was talking to him and he threw it through the window? Or the time the guy jogged down the railroad tracks, he thought it was VC and jumped through the window? Or was the time he had a standoff with the police in American Fork because he was having a flashback? Or was it the time that he beat the hell out of all these other people? Or was it the time that he was screaming and crying? Or was it the time that Skip put his 30-06 on the banister up there in the kitchen and wrapped a string around the banister and pulled it and blew his ear off the door gunner that my dad was friends with, who was a Vietnamese now dead? All of them are dead. I've seen what this country can do to its vets. Let's get rid of Ron Williams because he's retarded. Yeah, you need to go wash your brain, idiot. America is by far the strongest country on the planet. Ooh, we're strong. Oh, yeah, don't drag us into another Vietnam, Afghanistan, or Iraq. We will kill the crap out of 1 million people. By far the strongest. There's more Chinese. They could serve your ass up for lunch if they wanted to. Have you ever fought 1 billion people before? You know when you have a peer-to-peer war, Instead of dragging idiocracy Russia into some kind of conflict to weaken them. You know when you actually have a period war happens like South Korea? Nothing. Study your history. China got involved and it just became a deadlock. China got involved in Vietnam, it just became a deadlock, right? Oh no, we lost that one. By far, we're the strongest military. Have you looked at Gaza lately? Ukraine, Russia. You know what bombs do? They kill innocent people and they get to 20%, maybe if they're lucky, of the actual adversary. Other than that, you just bomb the shit out of innocent civilians. Oh, they're not innocent. They're not. It's war. Was it really war? You guys can't even declare a war on anybody anymore, let alone anything else. Those bombs are smart. We should be fixing the world's economy. Everybody's struggling to survive. I don't think anybody's paying attention except for the rich. Rich got richer than they've ever gotten in entire history. So tell me about how strong America's economy is, which we are the toughest. You're an anti-American. Did you know that every day in this country, freedom-loving Americans, patriots, are thrown out in the streets because of the rich bastards that keep taking money and borrowing money, and it's too much money chasing too few goods. Stop bringing people in, jackass. Well, that's supply and demand. You don't understand that? You shouldn't even be speaking. Richest country in the world, and we have poverty everywhere, and even the 50%, only 2% of the assets are owned by 50%. This isn't a democracy anymore, because the poor outnumber the rich 9-1. What, are we going to go to war with somebody now? We go kick someone's ass. We go scream America, and then they throw Oxycontins and pills and antidepressants at you. Alcoholism. There we go. That was the war, son. That was the war. You don't understand. I do get it. I do get it. We killed a lot of innocent people to fight an ideology that did nothing in the end anyways. We got to fight those terrorist Talibanis. Kind of like bin Laden. He was in Pakistan, you idiots. They threw him off in the ocean. Everybody said, America, you should bring his body back. What are you doing? You threw the most wanted man in the world off into the ocean. We took DNA. He was in Pakistan. He wasn't in no cave. Kind of like Gaddafi wasn't even hurting it. Actually, people loved Gaddafi. Went down Tripoli with no armored anything. No security people waiting for him. Gaddafi was loved in Tripoli. And Hillary Clinton said, we came, we saw, he died. It was about the gold now, wasn't it? Wake up. We ain't won a war since World War II. We didn't even win that. Stalin killed his own people by the millions. Stalin would throw his own people as bullet catchers. The Germans couldn't kill enough of them. Blood everywhere. They didn't care. Millions slaughtered. They gave one gun to 2 men and said, go die. That's Stalin. He's going to kill him anyways. We didn't win that war. We fought conscripts and D-Day. We were fighting the Luftwaffe and the SS. They were getting cremated by the Russians. And the U.S. is allies with Pakistan. And he had, and bin Laden was there. Bin Laden wasn't, we got, my own flesh and blood was hunting bin Laden. And he wasn't in a cave. Wait, he big scalp? Opium. The poppy fields. Ironically, that's where it was all grown. And ironically, during that time, we had an Oxycontin outbreak. People were dying left and right. Addiction everywhere. Heroin everywhere. Now you don't see the needles anymore. Now they gave them this nice China drug called fentanyl. They're like, we're done. We're not fighting. And all of a sudden, the opioid epidemic kind of went down quite a bit because now they're fentanyl. Magically, we're done with Afghanistan. We couldn't lie anymore about it. We got all the world's opium in there. The Afghanis were growing opium, and we were sitting there in the hottest, the ground zero of opium production. I mean, not including South America. Just saying in Afghanistan alone. Pinewood, maybe you should actually go unwash your brain, roll through some dirt. Okay? Was you in the 2012 end of the world? Russell Means and my mother both died in 2012. That was the end of the real world, by the way. What we all knew as normal. 8 years later, 7 years later, they gave you a pandemic and you hid, everybody had to hide except for the essential workers. Oh, we are the protected class here. Yes, we are. You workers have to go make sure we have food and clothing and shoes and hats, and you migrants need to keep building and working, and but the rest of us get to stay home and collect a check and be a remote worker. Send, oh wait, I gotta go to the store. Uber, could you guys come? Let's order DoorDash. Yeah, great, isn't it? 2012, good times. Yeah, the poppy fields were huge. We were in Afghanistan. You know, if you do the research on the Opium Triangle and you go back to Vietnam and all the drugs there going, oh, well, maybe you find out how they funded their stuff. Andrew, just talking the stuff, man. Yeah, the world's ending. Pinewood, you've already been ended. It doesn't matter. They've already ended you. They've already strapped you with, what, $83,000 in debt? That's a lie, anyways. They made life too expensive. They've taken as much as they can from the majority of people. Pinewood, if you're that blessed to have whatever, we'll watch you guys crash like 2008 all over again. End of the world's already here. The world already ended. The banksters ended it. Wasn't it funny how the repo market, Pinewood, you know anything about the repo market 2019? Set the timer. You can look it up, apparently. Because maybe Pinewood, you'll understand what happened here. Where did that dang virus come from? Where's that dang bat? That gosh dang bat. Kind of like Ace Ventura, you know? Where is the bat? Where does fentanyl come from? China. A bat. Repo market was where the banks couldn't close their balance sheets. They had no money left to loan to the other moron bank. Because the banks used to call each other, hey, I'm a FDIC backed liar that actually goes along with the Federal Reserve, which is not an American institution, which is a bunch of banksters that we borrow from the American people, make them pay it back and put them in debt. Hey, can I get some money? Hey, how about you? Can I get some money too? Because we can't. And they said, 2019 November, they said, no, there's no more money. We can't loan you any money. They couldn't do it. Yeah, get Roy. Oh, I want to look up Roy Pearson. This is going to be a good one. This guy. Anyway, they had to get the money from the Federal Reserve. That's what the Federal Reserve was already having a loan to the banks. November 2000, if you was watching the news of any kind of news with these special idiots like Roy Peterson. Well, it's Pearson. Is it Roy Pearson? Let's see what his name is. Yeah, Roy Pearson. Kind of like Roy Pearson. You know, he was finagling, money managing, lie, stealing from everybody. You know, probably had some Warren Jeff stuff going on. Roy Pearson was the one. He was a lot like that too. You know, real garbage pail kid. Along with Roy Pearson, during that time, he was probably, I'd say, stealing from his mom. More likely, Roy Pearson was doing that. Yep, Roy. Let's look up Roy. I want to look up Roy. Hey, Roy, what's your YouTube channel look like? Roy Pearson. Let's look. Roy. Let's see. I hope we can find Roy Pearson. Just to give everybody, a lot of these guys are bots or they have no channel. So he's copying somebody else's stuff. Come on, Roy, what do you got here, bro? Let's see who you are. Yeah, don't turn your back on Roy or fall down or leave yourself vulnerable, because Roy will be like Warren Jeffs of the FLDS Church. Yeah. I'll never find him. I can write it. But he has capitals on his. Capital R. So he's actually got a pretty good name. Kind of like Kingpin, isn't it funny? Roy, his name's Roy, like on Kingpin. That's interesting. So, who did he steal? I'm never gonna find him. What's your handle there, Roy? Let's see what we can look you up faster. We'll blow your channel up. Yeah, he's not gonna be on here. I don't think I'll actually see it because his handle was it's just R. So you gotta look for just the R. I'm gonna go to his channel. Yeah. That's Justin. Sorry, Justin. I can't find Roy. I know he's got an R. Let's find Roy. Let's find Roy's channel. User and tied user channel. Maybe I ought to make him. I can't get his freaking channel. It doesn't let me do it. Dang it! Channel activity. Moderated activities in the last year. He had 0. He joined 4 months ago. No subscribers. Yeah, he's got a channel for 4 months. That's it. I can't find his dang channel, but that's because he's only been on for 4 months. Anyway, the end of the U.S. dominance is BRICS. And now BRICS is totally real, and it's going to do what it does. It has the majority of the world's population, the majority of the world's... Oh! We got him. We got him. We got him. Calls me a druggie. Congestion on East Avenue. Fort Lincoln Civic Association Incorporated. That was 11 years old. It can't be Roy. How did Roy Pearson... It said he joined 4 months ago. Get out of here, garbage. Yeah, it's Roy Pearson. And I even go to him straight out. So Roy Pearson has 3 subscribers, but it said that he has no subscribers. This is where we got to find out who these people are, because it's best to know who these bad guys are, so you can actually... I can't even get much about him. See what he's done. He says he has nobody there. I'm looking at it as a... Yeah. Orlando, good to see you there. So Roy Pearson has 3 subscribers, 35 videos about his channel. Joined October. See, it doesn't look like the same thing. So he's cloned this, because when I went to Roy's... this is what we're dealing with. This is how we're dealing with these people. Because I went to his channel. I actually somehow was able to view his channel. Activity, channel activity. So let's go to him, and it says 4 months ago. Joined 4 months ago. Yeah, I want to show you guys this. So on his channel, it says no subscribers. Joined 4 months ago. This is where somebody cloned Roy Pearson in his channel. Let's get off of this. This is what we're dealing with on a regular basis, just so you all know. When you start your live streams, you start dealing with these people. Understand that a lot of them are not what they say they are, who they say they are. These are actually random. So this is Roy Pearson. He actually has his October 30th, 2012. 3 subscribers. That's not the Roy Pearson that was on here earlier. That's what his name is, Roy Pearson. He's cloning somebody. You got to remember, when you're doing your own lives, you're doing all this stuff like I'm doing. You can build your own channel. Don't let anybody lie to you. You got to be able to give up dealing with, people threatening to kill you, roll up on your house. You got to have your 12 gauge there. Make sure you protect your family because you will get death threats like I have. So, I went to Roy Pearson and with the R, and he's only been here 3 months. There's another Roy Pearson, Roy Pearson, Roy Pearson, Roy Pearson. Maybe it's a different guy. Roy Pearson, no views. They're copying Roy Pearson. So it's a cloning. They're cloning this. You try to do, there's a guy in Africa, Roy Pearson, but it has the R. I'm not sure if you can do this again. Be careful who comes on here. Maybe this is the guy. Because you could end up with a deadly guy. 1 subscriber. Doesn't say any info about that. This is probably him. You can have somebody threaten your life. So he's copying another guy. And they can come to your house. They can hunt you down. They can try to kill you. They hurt your family. Just for saying that the economy's fake, it's all a lie. BRICS is going to trash most of us. They have the majority of the population. The end of America's dominance is here. They have more people. They have more everything. They have everything over us. There's nothing we can do to beat them other than to go to war and blow up, actually blow up Venezuela or go attack Russia. There's nothing America can do anymore. Trump's trying to fix a lot of this stuff. This is the end of America. And no other terms. Trump's doing a lot of good things, but realistically, there isn't going to be a future. Sorry, I had to log in. There isn't going to be a future for America if we don't pull ourselves together. Everybody has to come together, fighting over illegal immigrants, losing HUD home subsidies. That's the people's. The way Americans are living on the streets, Americans don't have jobs. You ought to see how the TikTok's about no jobs. It's crazy. It's insane to watch American people suffer the way they've been suffering. It's crazy. It's actually astronomical. And then you have everybody fighting to keep immigrants, especially illegal immigrants, into America. Why would Americans fight to keep people here illegally that are citizens of another country, renting an apartment that should be an American apartment that would put downward pressure on the real estate market, the rental market? You pull out X amount of millions, which could be as high as 50 million people, just tell them it's over. It's just time to go home. There would be a downward push on that. Same with Airbnbs and HUD and Freddie Mae, or what is it? Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loans for people that made Airbnbs. They got loans. There's a lot of mortgage fraud that's coming up right now. I was listening to a program last night that Trump's going after mortgage fraud, and there's a lot of really rich people that did mortgage fraud that said they didn't have other properties that qualified for a HUD loan or a farm home loan, and then they had properties they didn't disclose, which is mortgage fraud, punishable 10 years in prison. I mean, this is getting ugly for people. You're going to start seeing the truth come out in America. What the fraud was through the roof. And also, just the main goal we have here in America is to get people back to work or keep them working and try to stop inflation. But the main focus is war, politics, what space. It's never about the cost of living. It's never about the massive hardcore inflation. They're about the American that's giving up living on the street. It's not about the Russians that are dying or the Ukrainians that they sacrificed all the Ukrainians and didn't care about their men. They're all dead. A lot of pretty women there. Amazing how they might have went there to get the women, kill off the men, take the women. Good ploy by the rich guys. Nobody's debating the facts. And that's what's sad. That's what's really, really sad. Now I think the roosters come home to roost, and they're going to go after fraud. They're going to go after HUD homes. They're going to go after Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And a lot of people will be facing evictions, arrest, untold amount of damage that the Biden administration did themselves. They allowed it. So God is here. God is here. The reason why God is here is because He is allowing us to make our own free will decisions. That's the point. You know, we are either with the devil or with God. You know, the reason why things happen is because of bad people get in charge. We give them power over the rest of us. We give them power and dominion over because of their wealth, and the system that has to be broke is the wealth system. It's this clown show where we destroy communist nations, and then the communists are ran by a dictator on purpose. They give him a Joseph Stalin, or you get a monster Mao Zedong type thing. The thing is, money is irrelevant. You can't even make a penny anymore. It's too expensive to make a penny. The Federal Reserve robbed all of us, so that we've got to come to a different system of economy, not a trickle down, but a level economy. Because it's always been about the middle class. We are owned, exactly. We are owned, but break the chains, bro. It's time to break the mold. We gotta break it, and the way we break it is to just divorce it. Say, I'm done. You don't owe me anymore. Own me anymore. I may have to slave away during the day to make a living, but they're not going to own your spirit. And I know it breaks your spirit, but every day you preach the gospel about Christ, you tell people the truth. Christ was always against us. These are not Christians. These are not Christians you're dealing with. You're blaming Christ for what they call Christians. They're not Christians. They're nothing to do with Christ. They think they made their own personal Jesus. Christ is absolutely, but they give Caesar what's Caesar's. And that was because Christ was to be the sacrificial lamb. And he said, give Caesar what Caesar, God's was God, Caesar's dead. So those of you that are out there wondering you're lost, you got to remember this is all, Christ was against all of this. It is. It is the devil's home. We can break the system with Christ. You can break the system. We can all break the system now. BRICS can come to Christ. Everybody in America can come to Christ. Everybody in the world can come to Christ. Say, wait a minute, that guy, he said, forgive your debts are forgiven. Father, forgive us our debts. We forgive our debtors, our debtors. How do you run a debt-based society when Christ commands you your daily prayers to forgive? Father, forgive us our debts. We forgive our debtors. Answer me that riddle. How did Christians set up a debt-based society when Christ commands you every day to say the prayer? A lot of allergies in here. He said every day, forgive us our debts and we forgive our debtors. Christ said all men are equal. Christ used parables and he brought up rich men, but he wasn't. He didn't. They said the rich is going to eat you alive. Your wealth will just eat you alive. Save up treasures in heaven. Christ said, answer to God. Christ said, love your neighbors, you love yourself. How do you fight over a neighborhood? Yo, we're in the hood. Christ says, if you even harm a child here, you might as well throw a millstone around your neck and throw yourself in the ocean. It wasn't murder. Thou shalt not kill isn't murder. It's kill, period. How do you back a war? How do you back a war when Christ tells you to love your enemy? Curiosity, I guess. How Christians twisted up Christ's words to go to war. How Christians twisted up Christ's words enough to think that because he said, give Caesar what's Caesar's and God what's God's, that gave them, that Father, cut the reins and let them run. God didn't die. Christ didn't die. Christ came back. He's still alive today. He resurrected. He died and came back just like I did. Oh, yeah, you can die and come back. Yeah, it happens. But I have to suffer a second death, so I'm no savior. I gotta die again here. I was out of here in 2006, October 7th, not January 10th and October 7th was the anniversary of my death. And that night I was star mapping where I set in the sky so I'd know where heaven's located. Literally, and Hamas invaded Israel. It wasn't November 10th. It was October 7th. God didn't die. We left him. Or we blamed him for this. God didn't die. He sent his only son that gave his life on the cross for our sins, and that's why every day we're supposed to forgive. God gave us a chance, because if not, he'd just burn you. He would burn you for your sins. He was not the forgiving. You are his children. He created your genetics, just like in Australia. The blueprint, everybody's right there in Australia for all to see. How come those marsupials turn into that? Well, because that's the blueprint that God made, because your genetics, your electrical being, you're programmed, just like you're watching a program. Oh, what did you say, Jeremiah? What question, Jeremiah, do you have? I don't see it. Can't even answer a simple question. Where's Jeremiah's question? Reality and live in your own world. Oh no, you can change light. It doesn't. There is. This is your show. You're walking through your own show. You literally, as you enter the room, the light turns on. Whether or not others are entering that space too. Reality is reality. You've already agreed to this. It's just when you step away from God. Let's see. Jesus can't die, didn't die, will never die. Well, he did. He died and he was resurrected. He died in the flesh. But I don't know where Jeremiah said can't answer a simple question. I don't see Jeremiah up there. And by the way, Jeremiah, there's only one little teeny. I got a screen that's itty bitty I'm watching, so I can't see what you're typing. It's like small there. Yeah, it does, and I proved deja vu. I've actually proved that I've been here before. I have physical people, living people that can tell you the truth. I don't know if you've ever done that, said something to somebody and it happens, and they're like, "How did you know?" And you're like, "I've already been here. We've already been here. What are you guys doing? Why are you guys screwing this up? You've already been here. Stop it. You already know what's going to happen." My throat hurts. Oh wow, North Idaho. We're expecting rain here. It's going to drop down temperatures. Man, I'll tell you what, that's crazy, Justin. Crazy getting that hot up there. I don't believe in reincarnation flower. I do believe in it because I've seen it. Yep, I do believe in it. I think that there's a lot of people, and it was never really discussed. We've never had this conversation. It's not really covered. But the issue is they came back here before. You got the same. Christ said this generation, well, this will change you. This generation shall not pass. Where did they go? So, a body is a vessel, okay? The spirit is loose. You can't go up. You're not going down. You're not allowed to go either until Christ comes and finishes the job. So they're just demons. They get into the vessel. The genetics are there. This vessel is just programmed. It's just a programming. It does what the system is supposed to do. It's a child that has genetic DNA that comes in from the parents. The spirit is injected into it. Now, can they get in there? Well, the vessel, it's reincarnation in a lot of ways, you can call it. Yeah, but it's also, when you don't have a body to go to, you just take another. The spirit's loose once you die. It just goes. But if you can't go up or can't go down, you're just stuck. We'd be wading through spirit's flower. And Christ said this generation shall not pass. I've met people that's been reincarnated. Yeah. Yeah, Johnny 5. It was never really discussed. And angelic stuff, flowers, It's pretty crazy. The big eye, the crazy bird thingies. It's crazy. Wow, yeah, but that's where that's what we're getting into on flower. No, Christ talks about dying. You have to be, you have to die, basically die to be saved. You got to transcend this place. You have to like have death here to be saved. You gotta die in this place to be saved. He talks about that. Let's see where maybe we can turn to it. See what God's got in store for us. It's not a spiritual death. The spirits are still running around, flower. There's a lot of empty vessels here. Okay, God gives the soul to the child. Now, and it's all God's plan too, flower. It's not us. We can only, you can only say, well, I don't believe in this, but it's His matrix. It's not ours. We're figuring it out. I've met reincarnated people before. But I mean, you wouldn't call it reincarnation because the spirit isn't reincarnated. It's not a new spirit. It's the same spirit. So reincarnation doesn't really work. I had to fill the papers out. I got a lot of work to do. So, and the spirits never die. It goes back to those that traveled here, and the Book of Enoch, and the Nephilim, and the eight, and it gives you the demons, and you'll start understanding more about possessions, and they don't ever die. They look for a vessel. Yeah. Actually, scratch that. I'm wrong. Jesus asked his Father to forgive his persecutors. Yes, he did. Yeah. Missed that. What was it on Johnny 5? I might have missed that. Scripture does state that, but it also says that Jesus Christ reincarnated. Well, he's not. Yeah, he's not reincarnated. It's kind of it's a lot of slips between a cup and a lip, and you got to get that right. But you have time. This is just time right now, which doesn't really exist. You're in your own movie. We'll understand more. People come back, but this is people. This is people. Okay, but I've been in my true body. I've been in my true body in the sky. So this is flesh. You're inside this vessel. I went up and came back into this vessel. This thing was dead, Johnny Five. Flower. It was gone. It was dead. I mean, I came back to a dead body. It had messed itself. All the bowels, everything went. I was sitting in my own excrement, dead. It was. And then I came back to it. Interesting. Sometimes I wonder what came back. Still the memories. I still have the memories of my childhood and when I had amnesia. I remember that stuff. I do. The issue I have is I don't know what happened up there. I know that I sat there. I was alive as I could ever be, but I don't remember the journey back to my body. I remember the journey up. I felt it gone. Oh, buzzing. Oh, buzz, 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 buzz. But when it comes to waking up, in my body down the canyon, girlfriend's running me down there. I was dead, and she's like, "Oh, they'd already." I was like, "Slow down. This is great. You're gonna kill us." She's like, "Ah, you're dead." Almost went out of control. And I said, "No, it was great." And I left her. I died. I mean, I died. I'm sorry for what I ever did to you prior in my life. I was a very scorned person. Betrayal was an everyday factor in my life. God killed me. He killed me. The reason why he killed me because all I could think about was war. All I wanted was revenge on the people that did these heinous things to me and to my children. So God killed me. And then he said, back you go. So yeah. Flower, when I was 7, I drank a bunch of gasoline and literally I died. I don't know for how long because I was out. I woke up on the floor with memories that aren't mine. And yeah, you got to be careful because when your vessel's empty, these 60s hippies used to tell me this all the time. They used to go on the spirit journeys back in Vietnam War. My I grew up, my dad was a vet, disabled veteran. You know, the disabled veterans, what war does to people. I mean, my dad, even my own son is having problems. My grandpa, my great grandparents were all soldiers. My grandpas on both sides were soldiers. Even the one that left that's up there went to Washington and, hated white people and all that stuff. But he's a soldier too. Vessel's empty, something can get in there. Just saying. So, and went and spill a drop of. Yep. Yep. But you got to figure out, and also you could go to Johnny Five. You can go back into your memory bank, start treating your brain like a memory bank, like a computer chip or an outdated computer that stores memories, and you'll start to dig deeper into that time, and you may discover in your memory banks where you stored it, like SpongeBob, burn all the memories, not too much. It's somewhere that time that you was gone. I remembered immediately. I didn't have to go through it. Yeah, and that's why you're back here, Johnny, because God had a purpose for me to raise my kids, my three children alone. My mother helped, after that. And during that time, she was there too. She was always working for everybody, trying to clean houses and have a break. And they never gave her even a minute to breathe here, never even a minute. But you were here, still here. God said, "No, I'm not going to kill you now. I'm not going to take you yet." Well, this kill was kill anyways, if you're already saved. And then you get to have your second death here. That's where me and you are going to have a hard time. It sucks. I don't want to have a second death, but I'd rather stay in the kingdom and bring the kingdom here and say, let's forget about the money. Let's all get together. Let's all fix this. Stop killing each other. Fiat currencies are lies. Let's destroy BRICS and the US fiat dollar, Europeans' fake crap, Xi Jinping's fake crap. Let's just wipe it all out. You can't have communism. Well, you can't have capitalism. Venture capitalists, these management funds are buying everything up. It's too expensive to live. What are you going to... This is the end result of capitalism. We think the kingdom's going to be like capitalism. You're going to walk up to God the Father and say, hey, wonder what I can get out of you as a venture capitalist. How do I get part of your kingdom? You even think about extracting wealth from heaven. You're dead. You're already dead. You ain't even going to get close to God. You're already burning in hell. Extracting wealth. That's a fine concept. Pickpocketing, does that resemble that? Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Thieving, robbing. That's exactly what extracting wealth is. Well, how we can increase our bottom line and get something more from these schmucks? Well, all we got to do is increase the price and shrinkflation the volume of the product, and we can make more money. Look at where our profits go up, and God's going to look at you and say, you jackass, I sent you there to learn and to become what I intended you to be. And instead, you thought about what can I extract from whom and when and where to increase my wealth. It wasn't gold you was extracting, digging for gold. What God placed here, a resource that he said, this is value. Remember, streets of gold, land of milk and honey. You said, no, I'm going to suck the blood and life out of my fellow man and the resources of the world, living resources, by the way. I'm going to build, and we're going to develop, and we're going to make things, and we're going to make ourselves rich. How can we get rich? Take over the hospitals. Let's get into insurances. Let's go over there. Let's venture capital. Let's be asset management funds. Let's take people's retirements and rob their asses at the same time they're trying to retire. Let's pay off some politicians. God's going to look at you and he's going to say, or Christ is going to be looking at you saying, hey, remember that place hell you have in your nightmares? Remember the monster underneath your bed? You never had those fears? Well, there's devils among us, isn't there? Bye-bye. Take care then. Bye-bye now. No, but look what I did. Uh, what did you do here? Well, look at the things that I made. You didn't make nothing here. Well, we did this. No, a bunch of immigrants built that for you. Other people paved that for you. You didn't do anything realistically, and you don't even do your own yards or your own laundry. You don't. I'm surprised you even wipe your own asses, rich man. How do you get away with that? Oh, you got to lube. Wash my butt. I'm rich. My wife loves me because I'm me. Sure, she does. My friends are my friends. No, they're not. They're crooks. They're criminals. They're the mob. Your rich man buddy is a mobster, and he'd skin you alive for your wealth. You give him an inch, he'll murder you in the night and say, it's an accident. They fell asleep out front in the snow. It wasn't the drugs I gave him or anything. See, there's no friends for the rich man. Never trust anybody. All they ever want is your gold. They'll kill you for it. How would that be, rich man? I get killed for speaking the truth. They try to kill me for speaking the truth. For saying all their money's bullshit. Yeah, it is. You think you're getting into a kingdom, you're out of your ever-loving mind. But they threaten my life, not yours. Why? Because they just figure when you die, they're going to pick your bones clean and still for themselves. Anyways, your flesh, your blood. Rich men. Gotta love that song, Richmond, North of Richmond. It was a hit. Now, my truths, transgender surgeries, illegal immigration, war, chaos. All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Don't ever say anything against him. Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. The Lord's gospel. And lo, I am with you always, even until the end of the world. So those of you that are with Christ, he's with you, but you're not the apostles. You're not going to be a fake apostle. You're not going to go ahead and think you're going to be an apostle. You Richmond, north of Richmond, I hear the drums of war beating from the rich men. Yeah, the 1%ers. Not the 1% gang biker gangers. I'm talking the 1% that truly own this place. They're marching for you. Why? Because they can't get any more out of 50% of the population. Well, actually, 70% of the population. They can't extract any more from them. They can't scheme and dream like they did during COVID. They're coming for you. I said, by doing. It's not by doing. I'm just warning you. They want your stuff, your boats, your mansions, your pretty trophy wives, your cars, your ability to get loans. They want to take that from you. They want to take, because it's their money, just like I fight over this. Hey, get them, Flower. I'll show you. I fight over this. Gold. They think they own the gold here. That's the most hilarious thing of all. They really do. And this, this might not be a lot, but hey, it's mine. This is gold. See that up there? It's a nice little bead of gold there. They ain't getting the gold. They can try. They try to tell you. They're going to try to kill you for that, because gold makes a good man bad, turns a good man rotten gold. Just wipes them out off the face of the earth. They'll hunt you down. You get a little teeny bit of pan of this stuff, this native material, and you find a whole line of gold in it. And you find out the structure's 100 feet, maybe more wide, thousands and thousands of feet deep, runs for miles and miles, and it produces gold like that. And you say, what am I going to do? I've worked so hard to find the gold. to be rich, and then you be like me and you go, I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be rich. I don't need to be rich. I need to buy the stronghold back from them. I need to buy a place where every man, every woman is free. They can come and go, and not hippie weirdo crap. I'm talking, I need help. Come to the stronghold. Come. This is where we renew you back to who you should be. It's a cult. It's a cult. I just want to be free. That's why God's doing this. I just want to be free. But I didn't understand freedom was you world. I forgive you world. I forgive all of you. I forgive everybody that's ever done anything to me or mine. I forgive you. I don't want to get any of this on me. When you divorce this place and live with the Lord, and He's in you and you're in Him, you're in the ship, the vessel, the body. It's called the vessel. It's a body. It's a ship. God says, hey, I'm here to show you and teach you a lesson. I sent you there to do my will. And here comes the investors. The governments tell you, no, you must go through us first. And you must get the banksters to come in and give money to get that gold, to have a stronghold where there's buffalo, deer, elk, fish, to sit there in the morning and watch the sun rise. Not to be like a thief in the night. A place to be free. To look at them and say, you own me no more. You own me no more than others. I am free. It was your Yellowstone that made him crazy. The Yellowstone that the Father sent from the galaxies, from the heavens to this earth. That's why gold's so valuable. It's not of this earth. It comes from the stars that we chompy. It wasn't meant to drive the white man crazy, to wipe out the tribes. It was, the gold was meant for the kingdom. Remember? Streets of gold, land of milk and honey. I was a milkman for 23 years, 21 years. I miss my Aunt Honeybee. And I work at night like a thief in the night. This is the one thing man tries to control, and it makes him go crazy. They eat each other alive. Me, I'm just hoping that my great discovery, that God led me there with my mother, turns into something that I can help others. That when I see the suffering and there's no place for these people to go, I can say, no, come. No, come with me. Nope, nope, no more, no more, no more. But they think it's their gold. I will take this the minute I'm betrayed. It will disappear. Because God led me to this. It's God's. It's to do with the streets of gold, everybody. All power is given to me in the earth and in the heavens. That's what Christ said himself. That was when he came back, by the way. Yeah. You still owe property taxes. You'll never own nothing here. And the Satanists know that. The ones that put these systems together, the old dead bastards that set this entire system up, knew that you will never, ever own anything here. You will never have it. And they'll kill you for this. Why? Because it's real. See that one there? Ooh, that's a good thing. They'll kill you for it. And why will they do that? Because they think it's theirs. Because of greed. Greed. All you just want to be happy and free if you're good. If you're saved, all you want to do is praise God for this great blessing of living here. But the old dead men set up a system that was antichrist, and that's what they've been perpetuating upon us from day one. They give you the changes. Oh, I'm going to make it better. You caused the problem, you dirty, rotten bastards. Or the dead old men did. You're just acting like them, and you're not your ancestors. You never will be them, in a sense. You're never going to be like that. Those guys were good. Those guys in the early 1900s and 1800s, man, they were good. 1700s, they were good at being wicked. Very, very good at being wicked. The secret deals they did in the dark were never exposed. There was no internet. Would you get a telegram? Catch that pigeon, and oh, they're setting up a bull crap lie again. Now the internet's open up. People can be dirty, rotten scoundrels, but they get caught. He is. He is a princess world. He loses in the end. He'll lose. That's good. I've only had 4 hours sleep, everybody, because I suffered one of the worst allergies attacks in a long time. BRICS is coming. Now, will those dirty, rotten scoundrels still, because you can fall out a window in Russia real easy. Xi Jinping, you'll just be disappeared. Will these scoundrels be the truth? I like Vlad. I have nothing against Vladimir Putin II. And I have nothing against Zelensky is an actor that played a president that's playing a president now. It's Ursula von der Leyen, not Lion. Richie Sunak, he was even a plant that did Pfizer stuff, and his name was Richie, just like Robert De Niro that was all against Trump, and just like Cash Patel too, bros, I'm on to all of you. It's not like I hate you, it's just the fact that it's just a moronic idiocracy that's running this entire place. Why didn't you come up with better stage names? You could come up with something better, but your parents named you that. Pretty funny how they get into that role. Like Fink, Larry Fink. What was he over? Is he one of the big capital investment groups? Yeah, his name's Fink. The one I love is The Sorrows of George. Oh, Prince of Darkness, I guess. That was a good one. The Sorrows of George. George Soros? Like we said before, you've all listened to this. Saddam Hussein and Barack Hussein Obama, that's not to be confused with the Dhamma, like Battlestar Galactica, Adam, or the son of man. Odama. And the Hussein part with the Saddam Hussein is pretty freaking cool. I like that one. That was a good one. And I like the Dick and the Bush Nicolin laughing at everybody while they took us to 20 years of perpetual war. And the majority of the population don't even understand that Dick and Bush Nicolin took them to abject poverty and war. That's a great one. I like that one. And the Trudeau with the cashes and with the, the rest of the money men, Rishi. I like Johnny Cash too, by the way. Those are some really good pranks that you ran on these people. I give hats off. The Dick and the Bush Nicolin, I really thought they would have caught on to that. Honestly. The Biden that's biding his time that never did anything. Biden never did anything. Biden was always a second-hand man, the callback guy, not girl. Never did anything. Joseph Biden this time, Biden. What was he Biden for? The Trump, the sound of the Trump, the trumpet shall sound, the dead shall rise. The sounding of the TRUMP, the trumpets shall sound, the dead shall rise. Interesting that we bought into this so long. Now do you see? I mean, you can do it with all of them. You do it with all of them. Janet Yellen, she's over there yelling from the Federal Reserve chair. Janet Yellen. There's so many stage names. It's sickening. It's actually really weird. Kind of odd. The world is a vampire. BRICS can gut this place alive right now with the majority of the population and gold and resources. The only thing America has is a barrel of a gun right now. Long-range weapons into Ukraine. I would look at all of them and I'd say, you want to do this, don't you? You need to establish the power to keep the same investment capital, hedge fund, Rothschild banksters in charge. You create the Federal Reserve, you create the taxation, the IRS, and you do what you did to all of us all these years to fund those guys. And Americans are going to go willingly throw their bodies into slaughter for the rich men's gold, rich men's wealth, the lies, that nothing even is a price discovery anymore. They drained us so bad that young men will be willing to go to war because there's no future for them unless they're the elite class has got a degree. My phone's smarter than any of you. Literally, it's the smartest thing on earth, really. It's over, people. But they will get you to go to war to fight Russia and China. Probably Russia itself, by the way. And they have the nukes, the biological weapons. They have to do this. They have to destroy Russia. And people say, the U.S. would never go to war with Russia, P-gate, Russia, 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 Putin, Russia, Putin, Russia, Russia, Putin, Russia, Putin, Russia, Putin, Russia, Putin, Russia, Putin, Putin, Russia, Putin, Russia, Putin, Russia, Putin. And then now everybody's like, Russia. Aggression. No nukes. We got the best weapons on earth. Probably lose about 50 to 60% of planet Earth. Not a big deal. We can handle those losses. Never seen a population more eager to destroy itself than I have right now. Well, started about during Biden. Crazy. So I guess we'll see. Because Russia's got to capitulate, or we got to have NATO capitulate. Somebody's got to capitulate. Somebody's got to stop the madness. Either one of them is going to have to do something to stop this. If you don't, see, I'm reading this now. I guess that hasn't been showing anything. Jesus, well, you can say that. I only grind Apex. Jesus was black. Well, yeah, that we're not going to hear any of that garbage. That's horse shit. Welcome to the chat. Yeah. It's AJ. It's JC. I mean, you're with Christ. He's with you, right? Ain't that right? You get the scars that he has. I mean, you get the same scars that he has. You're right there with him. Crown of thorns. You were on that cross with him. Yeah. Yeah, they start saying Jesus is black, Jesus is white. That just out of here you go. Everybody's trying to take everybody else's everything when, one group stores body fat internally, the other group stores body fat externally. Two groups store body fat externally. The one group says I'm black, one group says I'm white. They store the body fat the exact same way, common ancestry. And then they start screaming, well, he's black versus a white man. And you start saying, no, this is about Jews. This is about Gentiles. It's not about that. So realistically, black and white people store their fat on the outside of their bodies. And they can interbreed very well because there's no conflict of interest there because of the genetics. One has higher melatonin than the other. And you get an albino African, and you think that they look like a white man. Noses are inherited, by the way. You know that, right, everybody? That's inherited because the sinus cavities need to be bigger to keep the cold air to heat it as it goes into your brain, so they give you a brain freeze. Africans have whiter noses, but there's also a Caucasian type in Ethiopia that's Africans. I mean, come on, this is not a Jesus was black, Jesus was white thing. You could look at Marmari and the Syrians and say, yeah, Christ was white. You can look at the Gazans that are being massacred and say, yeah, Jesus was a white type male. You read the journals of the Romans that knew of Christ and was watching him, and they'll tell you he was a very, very handsome, blue-eyed man. I don't have blue eyes. I'm not Christ. But when you start going crazy about this stuff, let's see. Let's go to, how did Bear get his profile? Bear. Channel activity. I don't know how this guy is. Bear. I'd like to increase his picture because Bear says idiot. Joined 3 years ago, no subscribers. Okay. Well, yeah, get Bear out of here. He has no subscribers. He's a piece of shit. Just a pile of shit. And you know, you'll get Islam. You'll get guys that'll say Islam's the way. You'll get guys that say Muhammad's a prophet. You get guys that say Warren Jeff that was over the FLDS church. It was a pedophile. He's a prophet too, you know. But you got to decide where you're going to be in this world. Reality over fiction. You can be a Buddhist and believe in Buddha and do your thing, but realistically, I'm not going to try to change you. I mean, those that are saved, that are going to need to be brought back to the flock, that's what I'm after. That you need to come back to the flock. If you're in Islam or Buddhism and you think that you got your way, do you, bro. You do you, bro. You go do you. You know, we'll just go till the end. We'll see where you're at. You know, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. But killing Christians, slaughtering them because of what I say, or because of what a lot of preachers are fake say, that don't know Christ, never been with Christ, they did nothing, they're not in the vessel or body of Christ, they're not what Christ come back for. There's a lot of preachers that are preaching this prosperity gospel, preaching this, you know, all this stuff, and they're trying to be the apostles, they're trying to do the miracles and stuff, and I get it, I really do, but they got to divorce themselves of this place before they can ever even perform and act like that. And so the rest of you that want to get out there and kill because not Islamic, want to kill because they're not Jews, want to kill because they're, you know, because you're not a Buddhist or whatever, you know, you do you, bro. You guys have been killing each other for thousands of years, relentlessly slaughtering each other over this belief or that belief, just murdering each other in the streets, stealing all the stuff from each other. I mean, harming a child here, you're done anyways. It's already, you have no future with me, so just go do you. You know, harming a child is a common theme in this place. You know, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater when you're done washing your cells. You put the baby in the bathtub with all your stank, and then when you wash out, don't. You're killing each other, slaughtering each other, harvesting each other's flesh. Soylent Green has been going on here since time began. You do you. I've already died, so it doesn't matter. You know, I'm here now. Death was a cool thing. It's great. Not many people can say that. You're a liar. Okay, like I said, go do you. There's 8+ billion of you. You be the next dying falling star, brightest falling star. Because realistically, everything's synthesized now. I can make a song and make it sound just like anything I want it to, as a hit, and I can produce a hit in about 3 minutes, write the own lyrics, and the computer will do it all for me now. It's over, people. It's over. Just saying. Kirk asked, yeah, ask him. Yeah, they call him Yah. Native tribes call him Yahweh. Yahweh. That's what it's always Yahweh. It's always been Yahweh. Then the fake Christians came and said cavalry. That wasn't cavalry. Christ was crucified, you jackholes. That's why he called the U.S. cavalry. Cavalry. They went on there to wipe out the native tribes because they were saying God. Just like Allah Akbar, God is great. They killed him because they said Allah Akbar. Yeah, and Yeshua is Jesus Christ. Yeshua is the Lord. They call him Yeshua. Some say Yeshua. Some say Jesus of Nazareth. Yeah. Some just say the Christ. Round and round we go. Yeah, people hear Christian, they're like, oh my gosh, I got to run because the pastors and the prosperity preachers and all these monsters have gone out and bought mansions and sucked the flesh and blood out of all their widows' houses. And they always said this, and they never died. These preachers and pastors that had these mega churches, they never died. They never came back. You know, they don't know what's even after. They have faith, but they've never been there. That's kind of the theory that people like hearing near death stories, which a near death story was brought about by a Satanist that coined it near death. No, you're either dead or you're not. It's not near death. So my flesh was preserved because I died of hypothermia. My body temperature dropped low enough that I didn't die like somebody had died normally like that. I was about to say if some of these pastors of these big time churches actually had a near death experience, they would change everything. Yeah, if they just died, God killed them and then brought them back, that would be, they'd be standing there going, I'm sorry, everybody, I'm returning all your checks in the mail. And widows' houses, I'm going to build those houses. I'm going to go move into a normal small house, and I'm going to preach every day, 7 days a week, and don't send me your money. If you want me to preach, pay my wage enough so my family can live, but it's nothing more. I don't need any more of that stuff. I mean, I'm literally going to drive a 2000 Xterra around. It's falling apart, and because the realization is, I mean, comfort's a cool thing. I like comfort. I think it's a good time, but I'm poorer than most of the poor, and I work a lot, and I have nothing. I mean, I have stuff, but that's the way a preacher should be. That the preacher should be the guy that's like, hey, he pulls up in a brand new truck, just grab your stuff and leave. He pulls up in a, unless you know the preacher, and he's like, hey, I'm struggling, but this is just something I bought, and he's not doing it for posterity or any purposes, and he's trying to get out the faithful, which is usually the poor. It's a real come to Jesus moment when you get poor. But you see him pull up and find things, walk away. Just walk away. If they buy the land in which the people walk and they buy it back from the monsters and call it their land, but you can't own the land. No trespassing. Where did you guys come up with that, Christians? No trespassing. Private property. Not like a Christian with a big no trespassing sign on his property. That will be dealt with severely, most severely. We got to keep people off our property because they're evil. You have faith in God, or you running by, you come on my property, I'll fill you full of buckshot. It's my land. Yeah, stake yourself out right there and tie a tether to it and sing your death song, because that's where you're going to stay. And you'll fall through to the other side, to the pit. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there is no other conspiracy, the fact that they own everything here, that they say they own everything here, and you need to free yourself. It's all a scam, everybody. It's all, you'll understand, once you say, okay, world, whatever you do, I'm not a part of your system. I'm going to go smile. I'm going to go do my job and be happy. But every day I'm going to preach the Lord. I'm going to preach to others inform them about what life's really about here. That way I can help save somebody from sucking down the poison of false religions, sucking down the poison of false governments, false hope, false, theology that this place actually, that they care about you and there's a chance of you being rich and famous. And no, you should be chasing salvation, because when you die, it's over. God brings you back. That's it. That's it. And they killed millions and millions of people that thought that they knew what they were doing here. And they're all just dead. And then God shook 40,000 and killed them in Turkey again, last year. And they're all dead too. It's just a learning curve you have here to transcend this place. But if you're for any of these systems, you're absolutely out of your mind. You're absolutely out of your mind. Conspiracy theories are supposed to help you, because they're not theories, they're facts, because they always come true, it seems like. Or as these guys trying to tell you that anything here is godly or godlike, well, Christ-like, um, you'd have to look at everything and say that you guys never built a building yourselves. God did that. You guys never made anything here. God made that. This is his world. Well, it's his universe. People say Prince of Darkness is the devil, rules this place, but it's owned by God. You know, so when they say, I built that gigantic, you didn't build nothing, Trump. I like Trump, but you didn't build anything. A bunch of servants came here for cheap labor and built that for you, along with your golf courses, a bunch of migrant people that would make sure the rich white people and black people and Hispanic people and Asian people and Indian people didn't have to get their little pearly whites, their little hands wet and dirty. And, oh, they didn't build anything. They never will build anything. They'll make other people that are less fortunate or the different skin tone or that'll work for cheaper for their bottom line. They built it. But God, in the end, it's his. Anyway. Yeah, I'll see. Can't cloud your mind. Flower, he has also speaks audibly and through dreams and visions. He can. Oh, yeah. Oh, Satan's bad, everybody. Oh, Satan. He's so good at what he does. Gosh, dang it, he's so good. It wouldn't be as hard if he wasn't that damn good at what he does, but he was one of the Father's closest angels. I mean, come on. I mean, I have to remember that myself. I keep forgetting who he is. People say, oh, there's no such thing. I know the native tribes, he's called a trickster. You can call him what you want. Realistically, it's a demon spirit. It's a devil spirit. You're dealing with an archangel type demon. If he wasn't so damn good at what he does, but he knows the matrix, he knows the system, it'd be a lot easier to fight him. But the problem is he's not of this world with humans. He's so much more advanced than humans and AI ever could be. I don't know how he even changes the names. It's just, he's got that much power here. And I can't believe people don't see it. You know, they know in their heart of hearts and their spirit, they know this is all wicked and evil. But who took their choo-choo train when they were 5, you know, they got pissed off about? It turned them to evil, you know. Yeah. And I wish it was easier. He's a like Michael. He's even better than, he's farther up than Michael. He was a chief angel in a time way, way, way back where your neural processor can't comprehend and mine can't either. It was in the beginning of the stages, you know. But damn, he's good at what he does. Not as good as Christ. Not as good as Christ. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. I gotta go. I've had 4 hours sleep. Yeah, and don't keep with the devils. If they start, you know, just like the wolf lovers, wolves in sheep's clothing, you're either a sheep or you're a wolf. You know, the wolves are eating the sheep, the Lord's flock. They're tearing them apart. The sheep are going out in the open by themselves without the shepherd, and they're being ripped apart by wolves. People that love wolves, you guys need to come back to Christ, because no wolf lovers are getting into heaven. Well, those are God's creatures. You were warned about wolves in sheep's clothing, wasn't you? You were warned about that. You can't be a sheep and love wolves. That's an oxymoron. Literally, you cannot love wolves. Red wolves or wolves to Colorado. All Satanists. All fall in their Lord Satan. No Lord's sheep, no sheep of the Lord and his flock will advocate or even go along with wolves, reproduction or re-entry of wolves anywhere. I'm sorry, but what do you expect the shepherd's going to do? Oh, that's sheep number 25 over there. He's really into wolves. Got wolves all over. I got shirts. Got wolves on. He's got wolves. He wants to reintroduce wolves everywhere. And Bring back the natural cycle of things without forgetting that all humans need to disappear except for the tribes people that were limited. To keep this in a natural balance, they're going to artificially try to bring back these gray wolves that are Canadian super predators down in the lower 48 states because they'll feel better about themselves when a fawn or a calf elk's being ripped out the backside of its mother while it's giving birth and it's being consumed alive by a pack of wolves. And then they take their turns on the mother till they finally kill her. And elk get their butt ends ate out in the buffalo, and they're like, "Oh, it's so beautiful in Yellowstone." The Lord told you to be a sheep. The Lord told you to be a sheep. You don't see sheep loving wolves. Sheep run from wolves. They cry for their shepherd. Help me, help me. There's a little tidbit of futuristic understanding of who is saved and who isn't, who is running with the devil, who isn't. It's easy to tell. What's your opinion on wolves? Oh, I believe they're beautiful. We should bring them back all over the place, and we should see wolves killing everything in a pack mentality. With toxoplasmosis, by the way, a parasite given to them by cats. Now they all have it, which makes the alpha male and alpha female, they're actually parasitically possessed. Toxogandhi, everybody. They love the mountain lions in Utah, but they spread toxoplasmosis. They spent 30 years loving mountain lions here. Just, mountain lions, the puma, Wyatt was crapping out toxoplasmosis into the water system because that's what it lives for, is the kitty kitty. And mountain lions are anatomically exactly the same as your house cat. The deer are prey just like a deer mouse. Isn't it amazing? Well, they spread it to the deer, and they spread it to the wolves, and they spread it to everything. It's factual. And then they become parasitically possessed. Makes them alpha males, alpha females. And humans, it makes them entrepreneurial. Well, basically it destroys your ability to have empathy and sympathy and caring and to feel emotion. Don't believe me, check it out for yourself. This is medical facts. Yeah, they know about it. Huge portion of the population infected with the uncaring, unloving, unconsequential parasite called toxogandhi. Cat poops in the water, makes sure the deer drinks it, so the deer comes running back to the mountain lion. The mountain lion goes, "Ha! Ah, idiot!" It's factual. Yep. The Lord said, "Follow me. Follow me. I am your shepherd. You are my sheep." And if you're not a sheep in the Lord's flock, then what are you doing? Why do you want to be a wolf? They die alone, howling. Oh, look, there's it's a wolf, and it's lonely, ghastly, ghostly howl. Well, that wolf's dead. It died alone. Yeah, that's why you call it lone wolf, because it didn't make it through the winter. Did have a pack, and then the other packs that found it killed it. So who's your heroes again? You know, choose your heroes. I'm a lone wolf. I no longer run with the pack. Really? I got to get out of here. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, everybody. If I give this a shut off.